Caw. Two men. One named Rich. That's me.
This is Jermaine. Just got off the toilet.
He's a foul man. This is the X's and O's of life.
Huh?
Hi. We have a special guest.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, matey.
No.
You Crosby.
Look at your
Doing on the buffer. What's going on, Gover?
He's our master. Okay, you're done? Okay.
He looking like, man, get me off of here. That's a hell of an intro, you.
Yeah, he did his best. Mouse then hit the back button. I had to go away. Then I came back, and yeah, there we go. So thank you for that. We're gonna try.
That's an instant 2K views.
Yeah. Oh man, I may just clip that and be like, "There's our reel for the day."
That's it.
That's all you need. So, welcome in, folks. We are finally past the heat wave, which is good.
Whew.
Should be expecting some thunderstorms today at some point, but we'll see. Who knows?
Oh, it didn't rain at all where you was at? It already rained here,
like
briefly.
But we got like special weather statements and it.
Yeah, all this fair thunderstorm watching. It rained for about a good 10 minutes, and then it's right back, baking right back up. It didn't do anything. But yeah, man, I almost lost like 20 pounds. You know, I'm in this apartment. I ain't got no AC. You got the fans going, and it was hot.
Man. I thought about you a lot, and usually I think about you in the shower, but like this time I thought about you, like, you know what I mean? Like just from like a person to person thing. I'm like, oh, my poor friendo.
Yeah, it was hot. I mean, like I told you, I had to go into the office, so that at least alleviated one day. But
yeah.
And then, you know, being in this apartment, and then when I went down to the shop and save, I walked in there. and you know, people probably was looking around because I walked in like I had reached the pearly gates or something. I know they was just like, dang, he's in love with shopping sale. I'm like, no, I'm in love with the air that y'all got in here.
This man was shopping in the frozen section, and he don't even got a freezer. He was just in the frozen section, just staring at peas like.
Oh man, I was in there. I was just like, man, this AC is beautiful, but man,
you gotta splurge and do one, man. Like they're like it's like $150, $160 at Walmart.
Yeah, like, I do.
You can't do that.
I can't function. Yeah, it's.
Just how are you sleeping? Like you were just.
Hey, it's definitely hotter than even outside because I definitely will be outside, and then I come up here and it's like I feel like I'm like the Pillsbury Dough dude, and I'm like climbing in the oven. I'm like.
Yeah,
it is. I am a baker here.
Oddly good at that. I don't know why. I'm oddly good at that voiceover. I don't get
it. I ain't seen one of them commercials in a long time, but when they were out, you was like the king, huh? You used to be able to produce that.
It's weird. It's my skill set. So
throw that on the resume.
Yeah, right. Oh boy, voiceover. You know, hey, I take bookings, and you know. All right, so let's kind of jump into this here. I don't have a ton to kind of yap about. I already put everything in the description that I felt would be worthwhile to go over. But so went to the Pirate game yesterday. It was nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
The boy. pretty good seats. Section 117,
Oh,
row M.
100s.
Yeah. So we were about what letter is M in the alphabet? Fucking 14 or 15, something. Sure. So we were like 15 rows back. So put up a few little reels. Got the Kutch bobblehead. That's the reason I picked that game. So real good quality too. Man, it's good. It.
What, the
So
bobblehead is like real descriptive, huh? It has
I
like
mean, well, yeah. I mean that, but it's like heavy. It's heavy and it's kind of tall and like okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Did they
Yeah.
win? They won? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost
Yesterday.
today to Toronto
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that. Or not
Yeah.
Toronto,
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Tampa.
Yeah. But good game. Solid game. It was good. But I saw a lot of people on the Twitter sphere saying it was one of the hottest games that they have ever been to. And I'm like, yeah. Because 117, if you've ever sat in that section at PNC Park, it is there is no cover. So
Ooh.
yeah, and it was a 4:00 game, so you're not even getting like the potential cooldown. It was like, nope,
Yeah,
here's the
I think
sun.
the hottest points of the day is probably like from 2 to 5. So
Yeah,
yeah, you were. Woo.
yeah. But the shadows kind of creeped in around the 5th inning, so about half the game we were okay. I mean, it was still like an oppressive heavy heat, but that point will be coming up later in the show. Maybe because of a draft, maybe not because of a draft. I don't know if you actually looked at the description there because I did not tell you.
No, I did
Okay,
not.
okay, all right, but you're a god awful co-host. I hate you and love you.
I
Thank
didn't know you
you.
even put a description out there. I
Yeah,
didn't see.
yeah. Now
So
it's
you
no
put that
worries.
on Twitter before we
No,
start? You put the descriptions?
no. The description goes on on the link. If you go to YouTube, where whenever we set up something, it gives you an option to alert you. And if you go into the little dots, it'll show you the description of what the pod is going to be about and all that. So that goes
I
there.
knew
That goes
that.
on Twitter, and it also goes on Facebook. But
And you load
anyway,
that up like how many? Like how early do you load that up?
uh, I don't really have a time frame. Pretty much right before I send you the link,
Oh,
that's when it
okay.
goes.
See, yeah, I get the link for to come on to the show. That's about all I
Yeah.
see, and I click on it, and I'm here.
Well, you don't have a I mean, that's fair because you also don't have a reason to go on YouTube because you're going to be on the show. So it's like fair enough. I also didn't do my due diligence to tell you what's even happening. So there's that. So to kind of break the seal here, the draft later on, and I feel like it's sometimes we have something really interesting, sometimes we have something real thought provoking, like the like our favorite lyrics draft, which I suggest everyone go check out because I really dug that show. I kind of want to do a part 2 at some point, to be honest. Like I feel like there's enough out there that we dig that I don't know. I feel like that could be fun.
Yeah, I still feel like I butchered it. I just gave a history, a synopsis or a
This gives
summary
you
of
a chance to get
how
there
I've
you go.
transformed through hip hop. I didn't really give good lyrics or anything like that.
Well, that gives us more reason to do a part 2, so you can quote unquote do it correct. You know what I mean? So that works. Also, it's our show, so we'll do whatever the hell we want. Anyway, I haven't dropped that in a while. It felt good. Felt real good. So the draft later on is going to be the worst aspects of the Heat. Now
The
that
worst
can be
aspects of defeat, you said?
of the Heat.
The heat. Oh, okay.
The Heat.
All right.
Why the fuck would we talk about feet? What is wrong with
I
you?
don't know. I don't. You said the worst. Sound like you said the worst aspects of defeat. I'm like, okay, all right.
Of the Heat. I mean, okay, fair enough. That I could see how you got to there, but also I'm not that weird. I might be weird. So that can be anything from what about it that irritates you, what part of it is just makes you go nuts. Just, I mean, it can really be kind of anything. It's more of a real personal, subjective thing. There isn't really a right or wrong answer to it. It's just, what about the heat just can you not stand or put you in that place where you're like, I'm ready to lose it. So I just figured, since literally we've been in a heat wave and I was in an oven yesterday, so it's like, hey, all right, let's talk about that. So back to the baseball game. Good game, fun time. Everything is way too expensive.
I want to say, how much did you get robbed for?
About 60. Yeah, nothing much. So
That $60 was probably 2 Cokes and a nacho.
Here's what's crazy. It was so hot. I drank 3 liters of water while I was there and didn't pee once, because it was just like getting into my body and just going back out my body, except not out of my people.
It was like filling up the areas that were starved of thirst, and you didn't have no excess to excrete. Like, you couldn't drop any, because it's like your body needed all of it.
It's like your neighbor came over for a thing of sugar. You're like, we ain't got none to give. So anyone that's been there, don't drive there and park. It's silly. It's a giant. You talk about getting robbed. We didn't do that. I took the T, but unfortunately the T is down, so they have a shuttle.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Shuttle takes you to Station Square. Station Square then takes you on an actual T at that point. And if nobody knows what the T is kind of a subway kind of thing. So
underground, yeah.
Yeah. So that takes you.
So it was down? You said the T was down.
And so yeah. So from where I'm at to Station Square, it's down because they're doing a bunch of rail work.
Okay.
So they're doing this little shuttle thing, and it takes you through a few neighborhoods and to where you need to be. Not a big deal. That's fine. Now, anyone that's been to a game and has taken the T home, you know that it is a mass exodus, one, to get out of the park. Absolute train wreck. But then when you get to the T is coming every about 15 minutes, and it was so hot. Now, it was sort of cooler down there in the little underground thing, but not enough to be like, okay, I'm comfortable. It was just like, okay, we're here. So my first experience of me hating downtown again, I am with the boy, and we're kind of, I don't know, you can call it a line. It was just more like a wedge type of thing. It was like a kickoff return. Well, seriously, that's what it felt like. I'm just like, where's my fucking blockers? So I'm there, and there's this guy. All right, I'm going to be nice about it. I'm not going to get all like very descriptive of everything.
Yeah.
He like is trying to shove in front of me and shove me. So you know me pretty well, and you know I'm.
So not subtly, like not trying to, like, no, there's a slick way or a sneaky way to shove somebody, but he like blatantly was just like, I'm gonna get past you. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you know I'm aggressive. So I didn't think about it. My natural reaction was to just kind of like, you know, chest pass a basketball with his ass. And he looked up, he was like, yo, do you want? And he just stopped mid-sentence. And I'm not like an intimidating person, I don't think. I don't look like you should mess with me, but I'm also not like Debo. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just found it very validating and made me made my heart smile when he like stopped mid-sentence, when he like looked up and was gonna like say some shit. Then he was like, nah. Because
your chest poked out a little bit.
Maybe my pee a little bit too. I was like, hey, man, damn near 40. Let's go. So yeah, I I'm not mad that my first act was to just shove his ass double hard. Like, no, what are you doing? Because at this point I'm trying to, I don't care if I miss the train, dude. It is what it is. It's 15 minutes. I'm not gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
I was with the boy, right? And I'm like, okay, look, I need to make sure, and he is, I wouldn't say he's intimidating either, but he's kind of a little yoke now. So like he's kind of like, hey,
Yeah,
you should
he don't look like no pushover. Like you don't, your
right.
first glance isn't like, yeah, if you're a bully or something, you're gonna pick on people, and you don't just single him out like I'm gonna pick on him. Like it's something that you would probably get to if you plan on intimidating the whole room, but you don't pick Will first. No.
Yeah, like right, like he's stolid. Like I mean, he's lanky and long, but you can tell he's like, oh no, don't, not today, Satan. So I'm just trying to make sure, like I'm in dad mode. I'm like, okay, look, stay near me here. I know you're 18 and shit, yada yada yada, but you also don't go anywhere. You're not ever downtown, so stick with pops. We'll be fine. So I'm, basically just trying, because the train is here at this point. This is when this whole thing happens, and we're like probably a 3-person thing away from getting in. And I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to, like, because I understand you're trying to wedge into this thing, like you're all trying to get into a sardine can, and I get it, but I was just like, don't fucking, like, I don't know why you think it was a smart idea to lay hands on me, but I don't know. So I
mean, you could be the most social person in the world. You can be, you love to be around people. But when you get into a city type of life, or a city type of situation like you're talking about, reassures how much you can hate people. I mean, it's like groups of people. Like, I mean, I don't, like I said, you could be the most fun-loving, love to be around people person, and that'll change your aspect of it. Something like that, where a crowded atmosphere with too many people, it will make you reevaluate. Do you really like people? I mean, it's just.
And I'm aggressive when I need to be aggressive. Like normally, I'm very like just kind of, well, right? Maybe not normally. Generally, I'm pretty laid back and just like, okay, until you kind of put me on tilt. But like once you just kind of like, because it wasn't, and I would have been cool if you were like, hey, sorry, man, my bad. I got pushed from behind. I just like, hey, no worries, dude. Got it. No worries. But he was just actively trying to move me out of the way. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what world did you think this was a good idea? Did you think that was just gonna go well?
It was gonna fly. Yeah.
I mean, and once again, like all I did was like push his ass back, but I definitely made sure to like push him and a few people behind him back, because pushing him. And I'm like, did you not think that? And maybe he didn't think I was gonna do something, but like
maybe he thought that you were just gonna
and didn't fucking curb stomp you. I feel like, I don't know. Like
maybe he thought you was gonna be more reasonable than him, or maybe you was just gonna be like, all right, man, you got it. Like you wasn't gonna resist at all. I don't know if he saw that on your face. He didn't see your face, so maybe he looked at the back of your head and he was just like,
no, he came in from the fucking side. Like I'm here. He came in from like northwest, like a fucking plane. Like he just did that, and he was like this shorter Asian kid. Like this, he looked like he was like Korean or something. Not like, and like not that matters, but I'm just saying like his stature was not large. So I'm just thinking like, still, like, what are you doing? Like, where
I remember when I used to catch the T to your crib, man. Yeah, and it was summertime, and people would pack those. You could tell they was coming from Pirates games. Everybody got on the Pirate gear, and it was irritating. And anytime now I was getting on that T, and people were coming from a game. Not only of course, you're not going to get a seat,
right?
Be glad you can even stand up, but Yeah, it was irritating with that many people jam packed into a sardine can. Yeah.
So I guess just my question to whoever's listening here and whoever, takes a gander at this later on down the week here, if you're in big cities or even small cities, like is this the norm? Because I really don't go downtown. I don't go into crowded places, not because I'm afraid or socially anxious. No, I'm quite the opposite. I just don't ever have a reason to, and I don't really have the desire to.
You don't want to. I
Yeah,
mean,
like I just don't
you're
want to.
doing yourself a favor by avoiding it. You really
Right?
are.
Because remember last time, I don't remember what my last story was, but the last time I went downtown for, I think it was a game. I think it was a Pens game. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I had another downtown story, and I don't know if it was like a physicality thing or not. I can't honestly remember, but I just remember that this was twice in a row that I've gone downtown and some dumb shit happened, and I'm just like, I don't know how people do this on a regular. If they just wake up every morning and choose violence, or what? If that's just kind of what their thing is. But I don't have that to take up any time in my day
It's raining. That's why I'm like, say, what is that sound?
That's
Raining
just
like
what
hell.
happened.
Hold on. Let me close
Okay.
my window. This shit's gonna get all over my bed.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll just talk here. So yeah, I don't know if anyone that I don't know if this is the norm or what, but I don't remember it being like this. I really don't. I don't. I don't know. It I can't say it necessarily deters me from going downtown, but it doesn't. It doesn't excite me. But I don't know. That was that part, and then when Jermaine gets back, I'm going to tell the second part here. Um, not nearly as exciting.
Yeah, I don't know about you. It's raining pretty hard over here.
I haven't looked. No, it doesn't sound like it. But yeah, I was just wrapping it up here, just saying, yeah, just asking folks if that's something that they deal with on a normal basis, or
I
if
I
they're just
hate
accustomed to it or what. But
any time that I can, if I'm going somewhere and they say, hey, either you can go through town or you can go this way, I'm trying to choose the other way because I hate being downtown. It's people beg you every moment of the
yeah,
way. Hey, remember I told you about the dude that asked me for a pack of cigarettes and a
yep,
six beer. I mean, just imagine a whole
you get a
street full of
sixer
those.
and an 8 ball. It's like, all right. Well, here's the
Yeah.
second part. Here's the second part of downtown story. This was not nearly as bad, but I got the bobblehead. I didn't even open it up. I'm coming back home. Me and the boy both have it, and get off the tee to kind of take the shuttle back to the house. And this guy's like, "Hey, would you?" And this is where I become a dick. So earlier I was a dick physicality wise. Now I'm just a dick emotionally and mentally to this guy. And I didn't mean to be. It was just my natural reaction, and it's probably a big character flaw because how it sounds when I tell you, it's exactly how it was supposed to come across, and I don't regret it. So the seats we bought were probably after fees and everything, probably about 110 each. Okay, good fucking seats, you know.
Damn. Baseball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, because I wanted to choose the type of seats I wanted, so I paid, which makes sense. That's a good price for those seats. So,
You'd be
like,
lucky to get a nosebleed for a Steeler game,
yeah,
but baseball, 110 is pretty
home and
high.
watch the game. Yeah, right. So I get off the tee, and this guy, because I'm looking around, I'm like, how do we do this? Because I'm not used to doing the shuttle thing. I'm like, I don't know where we have to go. So, this guy is looking at me, looking around. It's like, hey, would you take 20 for the bobblehead? I look at
20.
him. I look at him and tell him, and this is what I said to him. do I look like I need $20? And it was such a pretentious, shitty thing to say, and I meant every second of it. I'm just like, do I look like I need $20? The fuck out of my face.
You saying it sounds pretentious, but it's a true statement. It's like you're almost like it's a rhetorical question, of course, but at the same time, you're almost asking like, do I look like that dude? I mean, do I look like I'm, running around scarfing for $20? Like,
right, like I just paid 6 times per your offer per the ticket. So
you gonna take the souvenir away from my game, and you think I'm just gonna run that into you for $20?
That's the whole reason I went to that game. I chose that game because it literally was Kutch's bobblehead. That's why I did it. $20. Okay.
So everybody that went to that game got a Kutch bobblehead.
Yeah.
They give it to you right at
the. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got to be a first. Okay. Yeah. So you got to be so many first. Okay. Still.
Right. But come on, no one. There ain't no 20,000 going to that stadium. Maybe for that one, but But I don't know. I didn't feel bad. Didn't feel like a dick. I was just like, do I look like I need $20? Like,
what was his response?
What do you say to that? Nothing. He just looked at me. Like, what is your response?
I mean, he didn't even laugh or anything. He didn't say, "Oh no, yeah, dude," or no. He just
like turned his head like. So I'm looking forward again. I'm like,
I mean, that's a true statement. I understand you said it comes off as what, you too good or you too, but still, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, do I look like that dude? Like, I mean, if I got on here and I had, dirty clothes and I looked like I was like really down and out, first of all, you would question why I even got the bobblehead in the first place. And did you really think I was gonna be like, oh, let me see it? And then you
I'm literally down there in a Michelin-esque Kutch jersey, like a 70s style jersey. And I'm like, oh yeah, $20 for what? Like a handy? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you offering me right now? Like, what? And nowadays, $20. What is that gonna get me? A beer was $15 down there.
$20.
I'll trade you a beer for a bobblehead. That's going to actually probably be worth money.
Yeah, that's what I was say. That bobblehead is, and the way you said it's all descriptive and it's nice and sturdy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was just
it's almost like an insult of your intelligence. That's probably how your brain came off. Like, who do you think I am?
Yeah, you know what? That's mixed with that, and then the shoving situation and the heat. I'm just like, do you not see the mood I'm in right now? Like, I am trying to go home, and you're offering me $20 for a bobblehead that I just spent 4 hours in the sun for. Yeah, I'm all set, bub. Yeah.
That's an experience.
Yeah.
You won't forget that game. Out of all the games you've been to, you won't forget that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've had many memorable experiences in games, so it was good. I was glad I went. Would like to avoid the downtown part of it, but obviously, you can't. But just I don't know. I guess I just really want to know from people if that is a thing. Like, is it? I mean, I know it's other places, but it just seems like every time you're downtown, you have a story. You have something coming by that's like, well, this is what happened on my way home from work. Like, okay, what happened? I don't know. I almost got murdered. How?
Yeah.
Dude, I walked down an alley. Yeah, well,
yeah, I used to work downtown in my 20s, and yeah, it is not something that I miss. People that have to do it every day.
I think
I hate just occasionally have to go downtown. If I had to go there every day. Oh my
Well, here's what I
gosh.
think. Here's what I think. It's like the people that live in Arizona and Florida, and we're over here like, oh shit, dude, it was 90 degrees. We're dying. They're like, hold my beer, pussy. Listen, it was 110 today. And it's
Yeah.
like, you live there, and it's like, how do you do it? It's like, I just get used to it. And I wonder if people that have to do the traversing downtown every day, they become numb to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they really have to see some crazy, like, yeah, man, I saw this homeless guy. He literally jumped from the 4th floor of the office building onto another homeless guy. I mean, it was interesting. Like, it's the second time I saw that this week, but like, the dude had a cape on. Like, like, you have to go bonkers to impress them. Like,
Yeah.
me, I got into a shoving match with the little engine that couldn't, and I'm like, that's like my excitement for the week. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And people are like, dude, I did that before I got breakfast, man. What are you
I was about
talking
to
about?
say, yeah, like they were like, welcome to Wednesday morning.
Right. Like, this is Wednesday. Like, I had to do that getting my coffee. What are you talking about?
Yeah. It probably shocked them, of course, the first, I don't know, maybe a couple months that they were still working there. But after a while, they built up a routine where, you know, they have a resistance to it. They, like you said, they've adapted to it to the point where you got to go through great lengths just to impress them at that point.
Right. Like, I saw a dude eating a pigeon. It's like, dude, I literally ate a pigeon yesterday. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Jesus. Raw. Like, raw. I didn't even cook it. Just raw. Just my hands. Boy. All right. So pivot off that just real quick. Still dealing with, because at this point it's cathartic for me, I think. Still dealing with the job stuff. Still realize my boss is absolutely atrocious.
She added more stories to it this week.
Just
Just routine stuff that was already in place.
once again, just pointing out critiques and not acknowledging anything. It's literally a carbon copy of what she does every week. And I'm like, hey. Like, okay, all right, you'll understand this. And this is the thing that blew my mind. And I was just shocked, and I definitely called her ass out on it, and I felt real good about it. Tiff said, probably shouldn't have done that because it may come back to bite me. And I'm like, you know what? Fair enough, but also, because she heard me talking to her, and she thought I was actually talking to a person, like a customer, because when they get out of line, I fucking get the dad voice, and she thought I was talking to a customer. I was talking to my suit. She's like, shit. I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. So, long story short, she's bringing up the same things. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. And I brought up to her. I looked at the behaviors that they grade you on. Okay, and they are at the outstanding mark, and then the customer callbacks are at the outstanding mark. So, numbers wise, as being my old boss here, that should dictate, dude, you're doing a bang up fucking job. Like, you are exhibiting whatever behaviors the company wants you to exhibit, and the people that you're calling, you're resolving whatever issues plus adding X, Y, and Z to their situation, so they're not calling back.
First call resolution. So
yeah.
You don't have to call back. Then obviously, whatever I did or whatever resolution I came to, it wasn't a quick band-aid, because I definitely had people in the past that was, at the surface, it seemed like they were doing a great job, but then they had the highest resolution callback where they weren't really doing the job. It was just like, I'm throwing a band-aid on it and telling you to shut up, and then they were calling back a day or two later. So that's not a good job. But if you're actually, fulfilling that metric, then you're doing your job, and you're doing your job efficiently. So what argument do you have there?
Here's what this bitch said. I brought that up. I was like, I don't know exactly the exact verbiage here, so because I just saw red at this point. So I just was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to speak from the heart.
Yeah.
Let's go. So basically, I just came to her and I said, listen, you keep pointing out these changes and you played this call for me. And I told her, this is literally not this isn't how people talk. This isn't how people talk. Like what this person said to this other person in this little, training practice situation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
those corny examples of like, I just did a great job fixing your stuff. Thank you, sir. Like you said, nobody really talks
right. Like
that in those goofy exercises.
Thank you for calling, yada yada yada. Thank you so much for verifying. I appreciate your business. I'm so sorry you're having this issue. I totally understand. I definitely can help you. And like, this is after the person said hi. I'm like, the fuck? This is not because I said this literally sounds like you're checking your boxes. This is it. And Tiffany was like, yeah, when people start that, I just fucking set the phone down because I'm like, yeah, get to the point where you can actually be beneficial. And I explained that to her too. It's like, I get it. The company wants you to do this. That's fine. But this is not how people fucking talk. This isn't how it works. So I then brought to her attention, I was like, look, I'm an outstanding in both of these kind of segments here. I'm not really sure why we keep picking apart these things. And she's like, well, those numbers really don't always tell the story. They don't always matter. I'm sitting there like, so let me get this straight. So these numbers only matter when it fucking matters? Like, or when it doesn't? Like, how can you be subjective about the numbers when the numbers are literally telling the story? And ironically enough, you're basing your critiques on the failed portions of those numbers. Like,
what are you using? If the numbers don't tell the story, what are you using the numbers for?
Like, what story are you? What book are you reading? Because I was so baffled. At that point, I just shut down. I'm like, that is so dumb. I can't even, because I can't have a conversation with you if you are now going to try to twist the metrics that you are so adamant about changing how I do my business. But the numbers that reflect that I'm doing what I need to do at an outstanding rate. I'm not saying I am perfect. I'm not saying I can't change things and fix things and yada, yada, yada. But when you bring no positives to the table and all you do is critique and pick this and pick this and pick this, then turn it and say the numbers that are showing that you're doing a good job do not align with my actual situation. Like, it doesn't line up with her. Oh God, what's the word? Mo, what's the word I'm thinking about?
Doesn't line up with.
Like, lining up with your plan. What is that?
Agenda?
Agenda? Is it agenda? Yeah, there we go. I was thinking something with an M. I'm a fucking idiot. It doesn't, like, those metrics don't line up with her agenda for whatever her agenda is. If it's being a cunt, she's doing a super good job. But it don't line up with
she's
that.
She's tailoring the conversation to her and her only. Like, it's like,
Tiff said this.
What?
She has been there for 15 years. And Tiff said, this sounds... What did you say exactly? Okay, she has an old management style. Which I guess it makes sense. Like, it was very much... she explained it as, you do what I say and you fall in line and that's it. And that isn't really what it is. You need to tailor your management style to each individual person. And unfortunately, if you don't like to do that, then you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, because you need to understand that doesn't work. That's why that stuff changes. Not saying
my way or the highway only.
Right.
Some people might like to be managed that way, but everybody doesn't. Like you said, you gotta. Some people you got to play with kitty gloves. You got to talk to them this way. You got to find out what motivates each and every individual. And it's not the same thing. It's not universal. It's not the same thing across the board for everyone. It's not.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just kind of a little baffling to me that actually no, I'm sorry, it's not baffling at all. At this point, I've submitted to the fact that she is actively trying to get me to quit or for me to lose my shit on her, and I think the old me would have, but now I'm like I'm a very spiteful person too. Like I'm super nice and all that other fun stuff and social and yeah, but there is a very dark side of me, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. And I'm very, very spiteful, and I will refuse to let her win. Refuse. So I'm following Tiff's advice, and I'm going to fall in line with what she wants to do. Because basically, what the plan here is, I'm going to do what is being said, and if there's still critiques and still things like that, and still quote unquote random calls that are being pulled that seem to not have those things that she keeps bringing up, even though I am doing them. It basically at that point, it's there's a problem there that can be actually tracked. And I'm not going to be here very much longer. I'm actively looking for places to go to. Because yes, I enjoy my schedule. I enjoy my PTO. My mental health is way, way, way too much or way too important to me than my schedule. And it sucks because this broad is the reason I'm going to leave. And that sucks. Like you never want to feel like one person is adversely affecting you, but also I've been miserable here for a while. I think this is what I needed to kind of get me really going, but I feel like it's not on my own terms. And I think that's the thing that bothers me. So I'm not leaving voluntarily. I'm leaving because I need to. Because it's either she's going to get
Well,
me
she's
fired.
providing the straw. I mean, you
Right.
already, like you said. I mean, even before this happened, and years ago, we talked about you sitting up there, searching and possibly leaving. So you were already in that mindset, but she put the straw, that last straw,
Right.
just kind of give you that motivation to make it happen sooner. She said the numbers that we are scoring doesn't really reflect the true story. Like, what are you?
Right.
How could she even twist her mouth up to even say that statement? Like,
I don't know how I didn't look at her and say, how the fuck does that work? Please tell me. Because I don't know if I'm too. Because I looked at her and I couldn't words. I couldn't. I
mean, just to use a goofy analogy or something like that. Okay, you got a quarterback that, they have like 75 to 80% accuracy.
Okay.
And then you got a coach that comes up to that quarterback and says, "You're not really an accurate quarterback." And you're like, "Well, based upon those numbers, 80% of the time, I'm hitting the right man." And they're like, "Well, that doesn't really tell the story. Like, what are you saying? Like, I'm not accurate because the statistics show I'm pretty damn accurate." Like, what?
That is a perfect analogy. Perfect. And I'm because just like how I said that I told that guy, do I look like I need 20? And he had nothing to say.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt when she said that. I don't, because I was playing it in my head. I'm like, okay, hold on. Did I have a stroke? Hold on. Did I miss words? Like, did I black out? Did I miss like 2 cents? Or did she just literally tell me the numbers that they base your raises on and your metrics on? And the reason, probably 50% of the reason they coach you on, those don't tell the story, but it tells enough of a story for you to bitch about it. Got it. Let's flip
that. So somebody that's doing really bad in those numbers.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell that individual, now I know your first call resolution is at 20%, but that doesn't tell the character of who you are. You're doing a great job. Like, how can you sell that story? Like, what? So somebody that is doing horribly against these numbers that we base your raises off, you're going to tell that person that they're fine because the numbers don't accurately reflect your performance.
Because I think eventually I said something along these lines of, well, then why do we even have them if they don't tell the story?
Yes.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would? And I think it just trailed off, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, I understand what you said. You said Tiff said, just go ahead and play along and do what try to do, fall in line with what she wants. But at the same time, you're gonna let somebody mold you into the exact person they want you to be. Now, suppose you get another supervisor, or now you're stuck. You're cookie cuttered and you're shaped and molded into what this person wants. Now, other supervisor can want something completely different. The numbers are universal. You can take those numbers and you can coach to those numbers, and those numbers is every supervisor in the company should be able to coach to those numbers, not just her style. You know what I mean? So,
and I have been fined for 8 years, or 7 years, but apparently your simple self, you think that no, you need to add this, this, and this, and this, and it's like, I understand that I'm not an uncoachable person, but I guess I don't know. I guess just the delivery, the things she says are just.
I wish you could have recorded that. I would imagine. Can you imagine playing that conversation for her manager, her director, her vice president?
It's over Teams. I'm pretty sure that they can be pulled. I would think
they can be pulled. Yeah, but are they? No. I mean, but if somebody was to decide to, like, I don't know. We all know who the head guy was when we was there at said job, and I can't imagine that. If I ran that story by him, he would say, what is she teaching? The numbers don't tell the story. And that guy's a numbers guy down to
right. And I'm an analytical number person every day. And I don't know, man. That just tripped me out. I'm like, in a company that's so based on your numbers, for you to have the audacity to say that doesn't, and I understand, like, maybe her delivery was just way off. Like, maybe she was just trying to say, no, they are important, but there are other aspects here where your numbers are here, but polish you up a little bit, get you even higher, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, the delivery. I mean, the best way to say that would have been, I know your numbers are very solid, but there's some extra things you can put in your toolbook, or like you said, polish. I can help you get a little bit better in this area. That's an easier message, or a delivery of a message that can go over smoothly, as opposed to these numbers don't mean jack. Like,
right.
What?
And I'm going to point out all the negative stuff, and I'm going to ask you, well, what have you done well this week? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like from beginning to end, I'm already defeated. Because it's the same thing every week. The same, hey, how are you doing? How was the what? Like, in her idea of being friendly with people is literally saying this. Oh, so how's the weather where you're at? The fuck? What?
What? Small talk.
Like, that's not being friendly. It's being, you are checking a box, man. Like, and I'm just sitting there thinking, have you ever talked to anybody? Like, are you socially retarded? Like, do you not do the talking with people? Because honestly, that is literally small talk. And you know who likes small talk? Nobody likes small talk. So why are we doing that? And I'm just kind of baffled.
Like, you don't know nothing about my life. You didn't even bother to ask anything about my home. I don't want you to pry and be all in my business, but at the same time, know a little bit about me, where the only conversation that you have a damn leg to stand on is about the weather. I mean,
Well, and
like,
that's what she
really?
say to me, but she also says you should use that on your calls. I'm like, what? I'm like, so it just a very unlikable personality and just an unlikable management style. And like I said, maybe it works for other people,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, you were pretty bad at what you do, man.
I was gonna say my interpretation is this person's a flake, a true flake.
Like,
Oh man,
I've been
how
doing
did they even
this
succeed and where they at now? Like, I don't
for
see how
15
they even
years.
got there.
15 years, man. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I don't want to like super harp on that. I just want to kind of give people an update. I'm going to kind of keep people updated weekly on this journey because I feel like maybe people start getting invested in it and kind of vicariously live through this story. But yeah, I am just doing my best to be positive, and I think I'm kind of getting over the anxiety of working again because I had anxiety. Like I had pains in my chest. I would be nervous. I wasn't sleeping well. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like nervous. Like that's for the job that I have. That's like that's egregious, man.
Mm,
Like you do not have to have those feelings for what I do for work. But this person has instilled and I feel like I feel bad because as much of a flake as she is, I feel like I allowed her in my head.
mm.
And that bothers me too. And maybe
Yeah,
it's just
you
because I'm
definitely
trying to
have.
figure it out and I've allowed that to happen, but
Yeah, you got to do something.
yeah.
When I was at said job, like before, the whole separation or whatever. But
Yeah.
as I told you before, it was almost mutual. I mean, it was
Right.
times that, especially towards the end, like the last couple of years, like you said, I would be in the shower getting ready and almost have anxiety attacks. Like, I
I
mean,
remember you telling me a story about that. Yeah,
I
I
was in the
remember that.
shower and I started breathing really hard because I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I gotta go in this place. I mean, it was physically taking a toll on my health. It was really getting to me. And I'm so glad that, I didn't want to really be separated, but at the same time I was elated. I mean, I was relieved, put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm not trying to. This isn't like a dick measuring contest, but I feel like I'm almost worse because I'm working at home and I'm having this feeling. Like I don't even have to
Uh,
physically go into somewhere. Like I have
yeah,
all the
that's
distractions I
even
want
worse.
around me,
Yeah.
and I'm still like on Fridays when I have coaching, like I I don't like I'm sitting here taking calls and I'm thinking like, how can I extend something so I can go over the coaching so I can miss it? I have to deal with it.
Oh my
Like
gosh,
that's
I
where
don't
I'm
mean
at.
to laugh, but dang, that is pretty
Right.
bad, man.
And it's not because
Yeah.
I'm afraid to deal with her. I'm not. I'm just. I know what's going to come, and I guess I'm just more fearful of me being pushed over that edge. But every time I think of that, I think of Tiff. I think of the kids. I think of the puppy. I think about what we're trying to get done, and I hold it. But
But at the same time, I mean, even though, like you said, you kind of know what to expect, but no one's prepared for it. It's like if you were about to go get some thrashings, because these is lashings. Basically, she's, I mean, going to be hitting you with a proverbial whip. So
right,
no matter how many whippings you take and how many Fridays that go through and you get used to it, it doesn't feel good either time. There's no time
no,
that you can
right,
just take off your shirt and just take the beatings. They still hurt. No matter, even if you know they're coming, they still hurt. Wow.
yeah, and it's just it's um seemingly every week it's something else or she adds another thing to it. Like now she said they're going to do live listening now. And I'm like, She said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing it across the board." I'm sitting there thinking, like, there hasn't been any press about this internally. There hasn't been anything said about that. So are you just giving me the heads up? Because now I'm paranoid. That's where I'm at now. I'm paranoid and anxious and shit like that. So my head immediately goes to, okay, now they're gonna listen to me. They're listening to me live. Not everyone else listening to me live. And they're gonna try to pick apart things. Thanks, Wilma. And I'm just like, okay. Like you're now Big Brother. That's what it's become. It's become a Big Brother thing, and the people that are paying attention, that are doing that, have no idea how to actually talk to people. That's what I'm convinced about. The people haven't actually interacted with anybody ever in their lives, because how they want you to do stuff, and how it sounds, and how the little practice things they send you, and how the great calls that they listen to, and how they're worded. I'm like, all they have done is apologize profusely, like they fucked your sister, and like, just, I understand, I am sorry, and I understand, and I can do that for you. And oh my God, how are you? How is everything? How is the weather?
See,
How
as a
is
consumer, if I'm
thing?
calling in and I got a problem, I don't want to hear all that sorry shit. You could
Right.
say it one time, but if you keep saying it, and that was my biggest thing with outsourcers, they would say sorry 50 times, and it's like, just get to the problem. Like, stop telling me you're sorry. Fix
Yep.
the problem. I don't. Your apologies doesn't do anything for my problem.
That's why their scores are so good, because all they do is profusely apologize, and they don't fix it, and they fucking lie to you, and they just say what they're going to do, and they can't ever do it, and they just agree with you and say, yes, we will do that, and they fucking can't. Then they call back. So I don't know. It's just, it's what it is. That's that. But tune in next week for part 3 of whatever this thing is. So that's fun. All right. What about you? What do you got? What do you got to talk about here? I've dominated this whole fucking show. I apologize.
Oh no. I had one would you rather thought.
Okay. I forgot all about those. Let's do it. I forgot all about them.
Yeah. So, okay, this is a story of if you can go back in time.
Okay.
And this is a story from if you're from 20 to 50 years old. Okay. If from 20 to 30, you can live lavish, fancy, you got all the money, you can party, you can do whatever you want. Would you rather take from 20 to 30? You get 10 years of that. And then as soon as you get 30, you got to scrape, crawl, struggle. You're not going to get a job that's making more than $15 an hour. You're going to struggle in from 30 to 50. Would you take that? Or would you rather from 20 to 30, bust your ass, kill yourself, work really hard, and then from 30 to 50, live lavish? So it's like, who has patience? Like, do you have the patience to endure 10 years of bullshit, knowing that down the road you're going to live okay? Or would you rather take that up front, right then and there, and go with it there?
I don't know if this is that easy for you, but this is insanely easy for me.
It sounds easy, but
I'm working 20 to 30 and living fine from 30 to 50.
That's what I was saying. You get 10 more years of lavishness, and it's almost like from 20 to 30, it's almost like you're contributing to your retirement plan or something. You know what I mean? Like, you're busting your ass, but you got people that are impatient, that they want that stuff. They want that lavish, living good. I want it right now.
That's not the play, man. That is not the play, because I get it. You may be more physically fit and be able to do more, from 20 to 30. I get it. But
your mindset at 20 to 30, you're dumb and young.
Idiot.
Yeah. Like, when you want to have that money, when you you experience some bullshit from 20 to 30, and then you take from 30 to 50 and live that out.
Think about it, man. 20 to 30, there's a solid chance that probably half of that time you're single. So you're just doing whatever. Feel like from 30 to 50, you're almost guaranteed to be married, almost, and you'll have the financial security and ability to kind of travel and do things like that and do that family stuff. That's easy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's too easy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm just thinking to myself, like, there are people it's sort of like you know how they say when you win the lottery, what is it? You can take one lump sum up front,
right?
Or you can get paid the amount over the long haul. Right. Some people want that money right up front. They don't.
Well, it's a good question. Don't get it twisted here. It's definitely a good question because we definitely live in an instant gratification world now. That's a generation that is, I want it now and I'm deserving of it because reasons. And it's like, no, but okay. So I get it. But,
I mean, we're both beyond 30, but at the same time,
I don't know why you gotta say it like that, son of a bitch.
No, but as 20-year-old yourself, you might have a different answer. I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer now, but if I was to go back and reach, if I was to reach out to 19-year-old Rich and say, Rich, when you hit 20, you can fucking live it all, or do you want to wait 10 years? That 20-year-old young, dumb, and full of cum might say, man, I want that now.
Right. Because you're like, I'm dying at 35.
I ain't waiting 10 years.
Hey. Like, but now I'm 38. I'm thinking like, okay, you know what we're trying to do? We're trying to build a house. We're trying to buy a house, put this kid through college, fucking pay off our debt. Like, that's what our 30s are. Like,
but you didn't have any of those problems at 19. So
no, I was doing.
You wasn't thinking.
In my 20s, I was hanging with Bob, going to the bar twice a week, watching Penn's games, doing all the fun stuff, banging.
But you could do all that. You could do all that living in a mansion and just have parties every night. I mean, but somebody's gonna take it,
right? Because then when 30 hits, you're like, all right.
Now I gotta work for everything.
Right.
That is torture.
Because really, realistically, I feel like the one that we both chose is really more realistic of life. Like, that's kind of how that goes if you plan that shit right. You bust your ass in your 20s and 30s, then you kind of coast. Like, you got a good career, and you got whatever you're doing, you're not on easy street, but you are much better off than most if you have planned it correctly. So I think that's more like the planned life. But I think a lot of people,
but if you did you was going to bust your ass from 20 to 30 and you knew coming 30, you was going to live lavish. I bet you 29, you would just be in a autopilot mode from 29 to 30 because you can't wait till you turn 30.
Well, no, but also I'm thinking like, okay, at that point I'm going to start planning out like 28, 29. I'm going to start planning out those 20 years, kind of looking, okay, here's the things I want to do. Here's what we have because of what I've done. I think if anything, that would maybe prompt me to go even harder, depending if I could earn more money in that, for that kind of situation. But I don't know, that it's becoming more and more interesting, this question, because it was very easy, but now you start.
It was a slam dunk, yeah. But then I'm sitting up here like, I wish we could somehow speak to somebody that's like 19 now. I'm telling you, most likely your brain is gonna choose. Oh yeah, the boy.
But not really, man. He's wise.
He's too level headed. Yeah, I mean, Will is not that goofy. Yeah, he's no goofy guy.
Right,
I'm just
'cause
saying, like
he's
a
gonna
goofy guy that, that comes home and they watch the TV video. Well, they don't even have videos no more. Remember back in the day, you used to watch music videos and all of
yeah,
that. But like those kids that are watching these videos and stuff on YouTube, and they live in the
right.
lavish life, and they got the chains and the teeth and all that. It's hard for that kid to turn that down.
Oh, of course. Oh, because it makes it look so sexy and so easy to get. That's why, like it. Yeah, you ask the standard like 22-year-old now. Yeah, dude, they'll quit their job with the idea that their question is an actual real thing that can happen. They'll quit their job on site. Like, are you offering that? I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Oh, I already quit my job. Can I have to? No, what? No.
Yeah. Telling
So
you, for somebody that's at Arby's or Burger King or they're spitting orders, if you can pull them to the side and say, "How about you put this down right now, and you can live it up, California, Florida, anywhere." All I gotta tell you is, it's almost like signing the contract in blood. It's like, okay, when you hit 30, the glass slipper comes off.
right.
You are no longer Cinderella, and you're back to your shitty ass life. So
Yeah.
a lot of people's gonna take that, or you tell that you pull that person to the side that's ordering burgers. Hey, I can give you a lavish life, but you got to work your ass off these next 10 years, and then you can get it. Or you could take it now. I'm telling you, that kid is gonna
I
choose
think it
right
really depends on
now.
what that person is doing in that real. I mean, obviously, it's going to be subjective, but I think the job part of it has a lot to do with it. What they're doing in that you know in that here and now. Huh. Okay, that's a good one. I like it. All right, so we're about $1.05 in. Let's get to this draft. Um, yeah. All right. So, worst aspects of the Heat. All right. Um, you can go a bunch of different ways with this. I'm gonna go with the number one, and kind of recency bias, but when you're in it, you can't really do anything about it. Like, it's a helpless feeling. Like, if you're too cold, right? You can put more clothes on.
Yep.
If you're in a public space, you can do that when it's cold. When it's hot, you can't do anything.
I mean,
Yes,
you
you
can
can
take
go
off as
and
much clothes as you can, but you can't get butt naked. And even if you could,
even
how
if you
much
did,
relief are you? Or how much relief
right,
are
it
you
almost is
getting?
causing. It's almost more of a problem because now you don't even have that barrier of clothes to skin. You were just going straight skin to sun. So, are you really? I mean, think about it. Like, are you really benefiting yourself, or I mean, you can go to the shade, but depending on the type of heat, okay, maybe the sun isn't directly on you, but if it's that oppressive, humid thing that just is just heavy, and you can feel it when you breathe in, you're still in the same kind of situation. So I would say the helplessness of being in the actual in the heat and not being able to escape it.
Not being able to do anything. That's a good point with the whole cold and hot. Like, if it's too cold, put on more clothes. I mean, of course, this could be so cold that you can't. I mean, there's no clothes that. I mean, you still. It's still gonna be cold, but you more layers you put on, you are alleviating some of that coldness.
Right.
But yeah, you can only take off so much. And like you said, skin the sun. Like, there is no no,
Right.
no level of close, because there's a reason why when you see people in the desert, and I'm talking like stupid hot, like Sahara has desert hot. Why aren't those people wearing shorts? And they're wearing full blown clothes with a hat on, because it's probably better to have on clothing to block that out.
That's a
Like,
good point. Like, yeah, I didn't really think about that till I actually said it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, like when you see like those people in the safaris and all that, they got on a full blown, almost like an army uniform, and it's like, wouldn't you be out there like no shirt on, shorts or something? No, those people are, and they're in ridiculous. I'm talking like hundreds in the heat, and they're wearing a full blown outfit.
Yeah,
there's got to be something to that.
Yeah,
sure. Aspects of heat for me, there's different types of heat. Like humidity to me is just unbelievable. Like when, like, there's days that, hey, they can say the weatherman can say it's 97 a day, but if it's dry heat, it's a lot more bearable than give me a 97 dry heat than 85 with humidity. Because those days when you're sweating before you can even, like, you get out the shower and you are sweating and you can't even move, and it's like everything you put on, like if you put on a shirt, a wife beater, you're sweating. It's like you feel like you almost got to go back and take a shower. I mean, like, when those days when it's like stupid humid, it's unbearable. I hate it.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate it. I'm a in between person. I'm a spring, of course, and a
me too,
and a fall guy.
Me too.
I don't like extreme weather. I don't like ridiculous cold, and I don't like ridiculous hot. I mean, most people, love summertime. Almost everybody, social.
I do not.
I love summertime. That's not my first preference. It's not. It's not for days like that with the humidity. And you can get into a swimming pool, and as soon as you get out, you're sweating. Like, I mean, you're already wet from the chlorinated water, but when those humid days, it's severely irritating. It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would say, and I don't know if it's like a scientific thing or whatever, but the fact that it makes you mad. It seemingly, and I don't know if I talked to you about this last time or if it was somebody else, but it seemingly
we talked about it last time. Yeah, when we were talking about, like I said, hot cities and first 48. Yeah, like doesn't happen in cold cities.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that it makes you mad, you have a hairpin trigger at that point. And it just is frustrating that you are bound to just not snap out, but just something that seemingly should be giving you vitamin D and all the happiness, but it gets to that point where it's too hot that it's like, oh my God, I can't right now. And because we discussed it with the cold thing, because the cold, you just kind of turtle up. You're like, you almost become sad because you're too cold. You're just like, oh man, this sucks. Oh, but but if you're too hot, you're like, I need one word, one reason, I'll do 20 years right now. Bet.
He said, if you turn your lips the wrong way,
right,
I'm coming at you.
It's an insane thing. It's an insane thing, but yeah. So that's my second worst aspect of the heat.
I'm on the tilt.
You're on tilt? Oh, I like it.
I mean, just being in his apartment, I mean, in the wintertime, yeah, it can get pretty cold in here. But in the summertime, it is unbearable. I don't have an AC, so not having the proper things, the proper tools, or a fan or something like that.
Needing accessories is kind of what you're looking for. I would say.
Like I mean,
okay,
needing certain things to make yourself just to exist. I mean, like if I didn't have the fans in here, I would probably have to go to the hospital or something like that. That's how hot it is. I mean, not saying that you can't go to the hospital from being too cold. I mean, of course you can get like, frostbite or something like that. Yeah, hypothermia or something like that.
But your apartment is never going to be that fucking cold.
No. But not having the AC, not having the accessories, it just makes it very almost unbearable. I mean, it's not been a fun summer, put it that way.
No,
not yet, not at all.
Yeah.
Unless I get said appliances.
I was gonna say
like
you need to figure that shit out, man, and go.
Yeah,
I don't need to allocate those funds, man, because that shit is unhealthy.
yeah.
I mean, it should be actually this week should be a lot more bearable, but still, it's gonna be like you're not really getting a reprieve because your place is still gonna be hot. So it's like, man. Anyway, all right, number 3, burning. So, that part sucks. Like the sun literally burning you. Like that's a thing. That's, I get it. They have a sunblock and yada, but everyone's body and skin is different. So, I don't know. It just, if you go out and you don't do that thing, then you will know what happened, because then you'll feel it. Even if you don't notice it, you'll feel it the next day. You're like, ooh, that's tender. And then all of a sudden you start looking like a snake, like day 2. And
shedding skin, huh?
Like, oh, you got that arm dandruff? Sure do.
Like, hey, I haven't experienced that, of course. Super black. Fair. But
yep.
Yeah, man, I definitely have seen, people that have, went out or, sat out in the sun, and they pay for it. I mean, some people burn like really easily. Like they could be out there for only
That's
like
what I was
an
saying.
hour.
Yeah, it's all subjective.
And
you don't really know until you know.
Yeah. I've heard people say that, they couldn't even put on their clothes, like just putting on, shirts and stuff like that. After sitting out.
At that point, you need to know what's going on. Like that's kind of like filtering the herd at that point. Like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't sit in the sun for 8 hours. Okay.
So you're saying you got to know your body at that point. Yeah.
I mean,
if it could get that severe, you got to know your limitations.
Fuck, you're knowing your body. You need to know how life works a little bit. No science. Like, I'm going to sit in this oven for 8 hours. Okay. That's probably not, it's fine. Okay. You got it. You, go ahead and easy bake oven yourself. That's good. Yeah, but I would say burning. That part sucks.
All right. I'm gonna say just not being able to cook sometimes. Not being able to cook, but
good one.
Certain things you can't, like me. I live alone, so I don't get a chance to prepare gourmet meals, and sometimes I buy some chunky soups. And this week, this heat wave week, I try to, usually my lunch, it's like I get like a half an hour. And I made some soup, and I couldn't even eat it because it was so hot. It was burning me up. It was just like, okay, it's too hot to eat this, because soup's supposed to, I guess, like, warm you up, or some people, you get sick, or you get the chicken noodle soup. Not in this type of heat. You can't eat. I mean, and you can't even stand there and go through the motions of cooking it, because
that's what I was gonna say.
Cooks your whole house. I mean, like, what the heck? So we got
all the ACs, man. We have all the ACs, and we still, now, mind you, Tiff was sick here too for the last few days. But generally this week, we're like, we're not cooking because god damn it, it is like 96 degrees outside. No, hard no. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you could have a craving for some type of food, and it's like you'll just really, I ain't gonna say even consider not doing it. You just won't do it because you're like,
Right.
okay, I really want a steak, or I really want, such and such, and because it's so hot, you'll pass. You
Right,
will
I'm not
pass.
sitting there and making this. You're out of your skull. No, I'm all set. Absolutely. That's a good one. All right, last pick. I'm gonna go with sweating. I'm gonna go with sweating because more specifically having to go somewhere, right? And if you have to be outside at all before you can go to whatever thing that is, just the idea that you are sweaty, like that's not sexy. Like it, I mean, very, very few instances is it socially acceptable to show up somewhere sweaty. You know what I mean?
Like it almost puts a dirty tint on you. You look like you're dirty a little bit. And it's like if you showing up and then your hair is all matted to your head. Well,
right.
We don't got hair, but I've definitely seen people that
but you got
sweating.
That you are a bit you're a bit shiny for no reason. Well, actually, but you're just showing up to like let's say you're going to a job interview and you're literally walking from your car to the front door, and that is like, I don't know, 300 feet, but it's 96 degrees outside. You're already probably a little nervous. You're already like on edge a little bit. You get out of that car and it hits you like, oh shit, oh man, okay. You start getting those driplets and you walk up, you're like, I'm here for the job interview. It's like, no, you ain't.
You might as well turn around and walk back out. Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with you? It's like, it's hot.
Like I said, if I see somebody in the grocery store, or I see somebody and like I said, they got the hair matted and they're sweating and all that, they can be the cleanest person in the world, but they look
automatically think they smell. Absolutely.
They look like they're dirty. They just do.
And it's not because you are, it's just a natural thing. Like it's what happens when bodies react to heat. But yeah, sweating is definitely, yeah. And they weren't in any particular order. It's just kind of how I thought of them. But
yeah,
I almost feel like sweating is probably number one, man. Like that ruins a lot of you. Imagine going on a date, first date, you show up with the pit stains and like the, damn, man, you forget it.
That's what I was talking about, that humidity, man. That sweating just, oh man. And I mean, the act of sweating is just your body trying to cool itself down because it's hot,
It's a bad look, man. It's a bad look.
Yeah, it is.
Go to that first date all sweaty. You're like, hi, my name is Rich. It's like,
she's looking at you like you're disgusting.
It's like, you're not
that is crazy.
Andy, you're not getting a handshake. You're not getting eye contact. Greasy motherfucker, get away from me. Like that's just not, but you can't do anything about it because it's a super natural thing. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. All right, my last one is
what are you reeling in here?
My last one, I mean, it's still along the lines of not having certain appliances, but I do notice as far as bills go, my electric bill is a lot higher.
Yeah. That's a good one.
In the summer, because you do have extra electrical things going. I mean, my bill is higher. And I would think that, well, I guess not. But I don't know. For some reason, I just thought that it didn't really affect the electrical bit. But you're plugging in things that you wouldn't plug in. I mean, in the ACs, the more BTUs and all that, the more electricity it uses. So,
I'm well aware.
The electric bill definitely goes up.
I'm going to actually, in real time here, I'm just going to look at something here. I'm curious what my light bill is. Because, yeah, it'll show.
Duquesne Light, it'll be like, you've used such XXX more electricity.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a real good point. I mean, luckily I'm on I have
Oh, you got that budget plan thing where they kind of
no, I have a certain supplier that keeps it at a fixed rate.
okay, yeah, the
But
budget like yeah,
yeah,
we
I
got
mean
the same.
it's essentially kind of that, but um I mean, so
Yeah, they ask me all the time at Duquesne Lands, like, hey, would you, and Columbia, the gas, they say, would you want
yeah,
a bill to be like kind of
that,
the average, or are you going to deal with the dips and the highs and the lows of the seasonality? So I just
yeah.
know
So
that, you know, go ahead.
we have a supplier here. Um, who is it? Direct Energy. So it goes through. It's like a fixed rate, and you go through the supplier instead of Duquesne Light itself.
Okay.
Um, so it's a less it's less of amount of money per uh kilowatt, or what was it, kilowatts, I guess.
I
Like,
think so.
so
The gigawatts.
like if I look, holy shit, man. Last August I used, let me see if this will show up here. Hold on.
Okay. It's like a bar graph, yeah. And the big
Yeah,
spike,
so
that's August.
that was last August. So as you saw kind of in May, it's starting to raise up. But um yeah, so it's just one of those things. Like currently our amount due is 218, which is actually fine. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah, I mean, my bills, I pay electric, I mean, and gas. And of course, I expect my gas bill to be really high in the wintertime. Wintertime is 100 plus a month. Now, my gas bill is probably, I mean, because I'm not turning the heat on, I'm only using, for the stove and hot water or something like that. My gas bill is probably like $40 now. But same thing to the electric. My electric was probably like
God, I
30
wish.
or $40 a month. Now it's like 60 or 70 because of the extra fans and stuff that's going. So yeah.
Yeah, well, luckily for this supplier, it's helpful because we're still at I don't know, we floating around that 200 mark. Um,
Getting power in the whole house. This is just an
yeah,
apartment.
but looking at the gas bill though, it's still pretty.
Oh, your
It's
gas bill doesn't really fluctuate?
that would be nice.
It should. I mean, you're not using that much gas in the summer.
Man, it is. It's a weird thing because it seems like it doesn't really make a difference. Like literally 238, 323, 323, 368,
Damn, 300.
325. The last one was like 280.
You got three levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, for those two things, we're paying about $600 or $500 a month. So
Damn.
whatever. Old house, it happens. But no, that was a good pick. I didn't really think about the financial implications there, but yeah, that mostly because we don't really have it. Seems to be generally kind of the same. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was fun, man. I mean, I just figured since it was hot, it would suck. Figured we could talk about it. Maybe next week we'll do the worst parts about being cold. Kind of do a two-parter there. Give you time to prepare. Maybe the week after that, maybe we'll do lyrics to 2.0.
Stay away from the lyrics. That's too much thinking.
Too
It's
much
like playing,
thinking.
like playing chess.
Okay. All right. But yeah, maybe next week we'll do the 2.0 or the feeling cold thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that was fun, man. Anything to kind of touch on before we get out of here?
No, man. I just wish you the best with that goofball you working for. That's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Sincerely, and it means a lot to you because you know, like I told everyone before, you were my boss, so you kind of the job inside and out. Even though it's changed a little bit since you've been gone, but you still know it, and you know, telling you the story, it's like you.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, I know I ain't gonna say I know all people, but I know people a little bit better than that. Whoever you talking to now, like I remember I used to make joke around and or even be for serious, like worst technical supervisor. I might not have knew the technical aspect, but I still knew how to deal with people. So it's like,
yeah. But
you know,
that's the thing. You are no different than anybody else in that technical space because generally, other than Rob, most people there
yeah, Rob,
are
yeah, Rob
goddamn
doing his
idiots
stuff.
when it comes to the technical stuff. Like they're leaders of men.
Well, not Rob. I'm thinking of Mike.
Oh,
Check.
yeah.
Yeah, he knew his stuff inside out.
Yeah, but there was only a few that really were. I guess Josh at some point, yeah, he was okay. He wasn't like banging the one girl there. But yeah, I mean it's generally you didn't go. We don't go to you folks for technical advice, man. We go to you because you have certain things that you can press buttons for that they don't allow us to press buttons for. That's generally what you're there for. I hate to say it that way, but that's like it is what it is, man.
Well, I mean, giving advice, or you know, the human aspect of doing something. You know, I don't know the technical aspect of it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure there was people that hated me, but there was a lot more that liked me than hated me. Put it that way. I wasn't no. You know.
Well, people, you really gave no one really. Yeah, you are definitely standoffish when you were busy. But that's because you're focused, you're hyper focused, and you give off that standoffish to get away from me because I'm getting shit done. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people will take that personally. They don't know how to read the room.
Well, I mean, it was definitely something where I was like, hey, as soon as I walk in, I don't like to be attacked as soon as I walk in. Like, as soon as I walk in the building, don't start coming to me with all this stuff. Like, let me put my bag down. Let me check my email. Don't come up to me with, hey, can you take a look at this? Like, I will let you know immediately that I don't like that.
Unless you were brand new, but even if you're brand new and you have that you think that's a good play, like you're gonna get what you're about to deserve. I just telling you.
Yeah, a couple people I had to say, hey, can I sit my bag down first? Now you're trying to catch me at the bathroom before I can even get to my desk. Like I don't like that.
Now
at all.
Me, I would catch you before you got anywhere because I wanted to talk shit about what happened in fantasy. That's a different thing. Because that was
if you ain't talking about work, I don't really care.
I was like,
yeah, you see what Adrian Peterson did?
That was that waiver pickup that you didn't get. This before we had each other's numbers, so it wasn't like we were friendly, but we didn't have what we have now. And it's just like, I think that's actually one of the like those stepping stones that got us to where we're at. Cause it's like we both like to talk shit, and we both knew we're like, how's that roster spot not having being not good at stuff. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So that was fun, man. So yeah, part 3 of my mini series drama. Probably going to do the worst parts being cold, but yeah. So I've been putting up more videos on YouTube. So if you can, jump on there, do that whole sub thing and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's growing and it's fun, and just appreciate people showing up. So I do have real quick. I do have something going on Thursday. His name on Twitter is Dr. Chuck, but he's not really a doctor. I don't think we're going to find out.
But he's
his name is Dr. Chuck.
Dr. Chuck. Okay.
Dr. Chuck. Yeah. Sounds like a, dirty uncle. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's like a sports historian that like he kind of assimilates a lot of like historical sports things that happened to other things that happened in history. It's just a really kind of cool concept. So
Okay.
yeah, like I'm pretty stoked about it. It's on, I believe it's Wednesday. I'll put the link up when I make the thing. But it'll be at 6:00. So anyone who wants to show up and ask questions, that would be really cool. But I'll put the link out a day before. So once again, if you do sub to the stuff there, you'll be notified. So that'll be helpful. But yeah, that should be fun. I'm excited about it. So other than that, we have a regular show on next Sunday, and hopefully you stay cool, man. Hopefully you can like pimp yourself out and get an AC or something.
He said, "Pimp yourself out."
At this point, do what you got to do,
okay.
man. It's gonna be okay this week. So if you're gonna like, do anything sketchy, I would do it now, so at least you can have it for the week after, because it's probably gonna shoot back up in the 90s.
Yeah, usually July.
Your dumbass will end up getting it in October finally. Like, oh great.
Yeah, finally got that AC. It's October, but no, yeah, July is usually the hottest of the summer. So yeah, here it comes.
You saw my electric bill August. It was like, God damn. Okay. I don't know what last August was, but woof. All right. Well, I'm gonna go do something other than talk. So, Julu, kids.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Okay, bye.
Deuces.
Bye-bye.